Hi everyone, it's Jessica Bradley Rushing and I am here with a recap of our select board meeting from last night, Wednesday, March 24th. Last night we had some pretty major items on our agenda. Each of our meetings the last couple weeks, we have had a review of specific pieces of the town's budget. Last night, we reviewed the community center, library, council on aging, health department, town clerk, elections, registrars, and veteran services. The budget presentations that have been given by the town manager are extraordinarily in-depth. There's tons of information. All of it is available on the Town of Pembroke website. You can look at the full FY22 budget presentation. Last night's presentations included department heads coming and talking about their missions, their goals for the future, how things have gone over the course of the last year during COVID, all of which I think is really, really important information for both the board to understand and for people in town to know. So if you haven't had a chance to watch last night's meeting, I would really encourage you to go ahead and do that, and any of the meetings that we've had in the past couple of weeks where department heads have come and shared information with the board. I think there's a lot of really useful information for Pembroke residents to understand what's going on and how things are going to look for the future. We also had a pretty major discussion last night about the annual town meeting. The town meeting is currently scheduled for the second Tuesday in May, which is what our bylaws state. That's May 11th for this year. However, obviously, we are still in a pandemic. And so we've been discussing over the course of the last few meetings whether or not we needed to potentially alter the date of the meeting. Last night, we had a long discussion, which included the town manager, the town moderator, the Council on Aging director actually weighed in as well, and all the members of the board expressed a variety of different opinions as to whether or not we should keep the meeting on May 11th or if we should postpone it. Long story short, we did end up taking a vote, which was a 3-2 vote to, for the time being, maintain the date of May 11th. However, I want to express why I voted in the opposite way. I voted to postpone the meeting. Right now, we are obviously in a period of time where people are getting vaccinated, which is amazing and great, and hopefully will bring us to the end of this very difficult time sooner rather than later. However, we are also in a period where cases are still very high and actually are rising over the course of the last few weeks. When we delayed our town meeting last year, we had it in August. The total number of cases for all of June, July, and August in the town of Pembroke was a total of 25 cases. We had a single day this week in the town of Pembroke with 25 cases. We've had 77, I believe, cases in the past week, 3 times as many as we had all of last summer. So to me, it seems inadvisable to hold the town meeting at a time when we know cases are up, and it would be smart, in my opinion, to push the meeting back, which is what is being advised by the town manager and the town moderator, and which is what a lot of other towns are actually doing. Unfortunately, I was not in the majority opinion when we took that vote last night, but we are going to continue to discuss it at our meeting on April 7th, which is our next meeting. I anticipate having some more feedback from both PEMA and the Board of Health. And we need to continue to monitor the situation. You know, if we find that vaccination rates have increased significantly and that cases are dropping off, then having the meeting on May 11th may be a good option. But for the time being, my preference would have been to push the meeting until June and to have it in conjunction with the high school graduation on June 5th so that we can actually have an outdoor meeting, which we do have a plan in place to conduct. I think public safety has to come first, and that's why I voted the way I voted last night. I voted not to hold the meeting on May 11th, but to push it to June 5th. The majority of the board members voted to hold the meeting May 11th, but I don't think that it's a discussion that we're done having, and I think that there may be updates to come based on what happens over the course of the next few weeks. We also dealt with a couple more minor items, including renewing an ice cream vendor permit. We voted for the temporary alteration of premises licenses for Pembroke restaurants so that restaurants can do outdoor dining again this year because of the COVID pandemic. We also reviewed some of the routine warrant articles for recommendation for the warrant for town meeting and voted to include those. And then we also had a discussion about the community center article. So one of the big articles on the warrant for this town meeting deals with the community center, which, as I believe most Pembroke residents know, the current community center is not in good condition. It is not salvageable, and we do really need to address that building and put something more useful and more safe in its place. So that article will be on the warrant. We voted that last night, and we will have more details about that project at our April 7th meeting. So after that meeting, I actually plan to do a recap completely and totally focusing on the community center project, the pros and cons, what the question will be on the ballot, because when we vote for the community center, we need to vote both at town meeting and then it will be a question on the ballot at the town election. So the community center has to pass both of those in order to get approved for funding. So I'm going to address that full project after we have our meeting on April 7th so that I can just give my opinion and some insights as to what the board has learned about the project and what I think we should do going forward as a town. I'm really excited about the potential for having a new community center in Pembroke. I think it would be a great start to revitalizing Pembroke Center, which is something that really needs to happen. So hopefully we'll have a lot more information about that after our April 7th meeting. We had the town manager's report, which did touch on COVID. We have had a lot of cases in the month of March. The numbers are on the rise, but we've also had a lot of people in town being vaccinated, which is certainly a step in the right direction. I think that we all need to remain vigilant, that just because you've been vaccinated, the CDC is still recommending that you wear masks and that you maintain social distancing. But certainly I hope to say that we're moving in the right direction. And if we could see cases start to come down, I would feel a lot more confident about that statement. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and ask. I will post the budget documentation on my Facebook page as well, so that if people want to review the documents that the town manager has created, they'll be available there. Hope everyone has a good night. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.